Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial. Today's review would be Power Book 2 Ghosts, Episode 4 The Prince. Let's get into it. So, this was a real good episode. This was probably the best episode um, that of the season so far. And I think I heard reports that Courtney Kemp said this is one of her best episodes that she liked as well. But let's get into it. So, of course, at the end of episode 3, you had Tariq speak with Monet, them working on a partnership. Lorenzo Tejada reaching out to Tasha while she's in jail to let her know, hey, your son is, if he mess up, we're going to get him out of here pretty much. So she's frantic. Everybody's seen the trailer. She's calling Tariq, basically stating he need to get a gun. She know what he doing. She knows about all the drops that Ghost and Tommy and them had. She felt as though Tommy might have wiped out all their spots, but she gave him an address where he might not have to wipe the spot from to get a gun. And that was pretty much the extent of Tasha being in the episode. Besides, the inmate she been trying to befriend, she been hawking looking at the female guard, but she thinks the female guard is the one who's been keeping track of her, but it's not. She don't even know it's the other guy. So they kind of playing mind games on Tasha, and so a lot going on. It shows what Tariq got going on, how they're gonna run this new enterprise at the campus and school. They made a fake app for tutoring, and pretty much if people want real tutoring, it's on there. But if they want fake tutoring, they're going to ask for the premium package, and that's going to get them to get the drugs distributed. If it's math tutoring, it's a certain product. If it's chemistry, it's a different product as well. So Chase enters in, and Tariq meets Chase, which is Stern's boyfriend, and Tariq thought he was meeting Stern, but he was really meeting Chase, and so they pretty much hit it off right from the gate, and subliminally was talking to each other. Basically, made a backdoor deal that Chase would get 3%, but he really want 15%, and so that they could get this app thing rolling, get the product moving. And Tariq need the deal, so he's willing to work with Chase. It shows Tariq making moves throughout the campus. Monet is not really feeling Tariq. She don't trust him all the way. So what she want to do, she wants to send the kids to spy on him. So she don't want to send Diana, because she know Diana got a thing for him. She don't want to send Kane, because his image is already just, he gonna set people to be uneasy. So she sent Drew, where she believes Drew will fit in. So Drew shows up pretty much to see what's going on. Tariq pretty made him like, yo man, Monet sent you up here to pretty much spy on me. He was bringing Tariq product, and Tariq had a class, an art class, and of course you already know Drew like art. So instantly, the teacher tells Tariq, come sit down. Hey, have your friend come in and sit down as well. So they like find a partner. So while Tariq went over somewhere else, there was another student in there who was a player on a basketball team who caught eye contact with Drew, and Drew was like, you gotta do you have a partner, and he said no. So they both instantly googly eyed over each other. So here we go, the agenda. So Drew and him is, googly eyed over each other, and Drew is, Drew's an artist, so Drew pretty much is writing, drawing a picture of him. And so Tariq is watching this on the low, but Tariq acts like he minding his business. So he knew Drew was too into the guy, so Tariq dipped off. Of course, the guy and Drew hit it off, go back to the dorm. They go on doing their 1-2. While they doing their 1-2, my bad. Tariq is reaching out to Drew. He need more product. They running out. So Drew's not answering because he in the mix. He calls Diana. Now, Diana's home. Monet has her phone. So Diana is sitting there. Monet said, put your brother on speaker and don't let him know I'm right here. So he pretty much tell Diana, yo, Tariq need product. I need you to go up there. I need you to cover for me. So, of course, Monet is hawking Diana right now. And while she's hawking her, Diana looking at her like, pretty much you hawking me. I ain't the one you need to be hawking. So she sends Diana up there, drop off the product and get back. And of course, when Diana show up, Tariq thinking it's Drew that's bringing the product, is Diana. And he pretty much well, what you doing here? And then she pretty much, she said, well, my mom didn't want me to come up here. And she pretty much well, why? And she said, because she's afraid I'm going to do this. And she kissed Tariq. So you okay, the young boy girl get it in. You know what I'm saying? Young boy getting it in. So there you go. He kissing Diana, and then Drew shows up. What y'all doing in here or whatever? And so Drew looks suspect. So Drew, they get home. Drew's taking a shower. Monet comes in and pretty much did you find out anything? And he in the shower. He no. So he looking suspect, oh, she on me. Now they say every mother knows their child. So she's talking to him. It's well, whatever he got going on, he on point because she counting the money. So in the process of her counting the money, she pulled it out of his bag. She pulled up the picture that he drew while he was up at the school. And of course she seen it was of a man. So she already know what it's hitting for with her son. So she gave him this little speech people, they're not into the things that we into. So you gonna, always have to watch that and pretty much make sure you always come home, And she just a mother, showing mother love, and she protect her child. But she already know what it's hitting for with him. She know what he into, It's he trying to keep it a secret, but she already know. So from there, that's pretty much the most I think you see of Monet. Oh, there was a moment Monet and Kane had a back and forth, and Kane, he really wants to be more than just the muscle. He feels though he could do more, but Monet is pretty much playing him, and she we are a team, but everybody gotta know their role, and your role is this, and that's what you're good at. And you could tell he wants to be more than that, not just looked at as the dumb jock. That's all he could be is the muscle. So already know that's gonna be brewing. That's gonna be brewing for later in the season. To that being a problem, where that's going to be an angle I believe Tariq is going to use to wedge his way for the family to, start falling apart more. You're like, what I'm saying? Yeah, you should be taking more decisions, that type of situation. So then you have Davis McClain. You find out that he sleeps with his assistant or whatever. So you find out that and he tried to bring Sack in front of the judge to get the case thrown out with having or get Sack thrown off the case by having Blanca Rodriguez, a detective, in there, and they're both asking each other questions. So you find a little bit that Sax is dirty, the stuff she exposed, but then Sax also flipped it, basically saying, well, she is as dirty as I am, so, look what she did. And so the judge pretty much can concur with Sax, like, yeah, so she pretty much told Rodriguez, you could get down. So they wasn't in like a full trial mode, they was like in the judge's office. So the judge said, I will let your superior, basically your supervisor, whoever, see the transcript of everything we talked out here. So she stepped off, and so the judge did say, I would like to see what Senator, soon to be Governor Tate has to say about this. So Tate is received a meeting with the DNC, the head DNC guy, and they're telling him, make sure you flip and tell your story different from what you said to Saxon. And basically, we need you to state that James St. Patrick was a stand-up guy. And so, of course, Tate comes in there and he flips the script. So he's flipping the script on Davis McClain. He's flipping the script on Sax. So he ain't on either one of their side. And so they couldn't use him. And they pretty much was telling Davis McClain told him you pretty much you lying. And Tate pretty much was like, and I will thank you for your support. So, it was a nice little cool role for Tate showing up like that. And so besides that, they pretty much, Davis McClain said, we got to come at another angle. So now they want to subpoena Tamika to come and sit in front of the judge with the testimony. That's pretty much all he was in the, and besides, Tariq showed up Gary to give him cash. So his assistant showed up to Tariq's school pretty much telling him like, yo, we can't take cash. Where you get the money from? He pretty much said that the grandmom is the only one getting money from his dad's estate. He know where the money is. He stole it from her. So the assistant, Paula, pretty much said, hey, we need wire transfers. We just can't be taking cash. So Tariq went back to Chase, said, yo, I need wire transfer from you instead of cash. So he was like, well, that's going to be that 50% we talked about. And he like, we ain't talk about no 15%. And Chase pretty much like, you need me. So, boom. Now he going to get his wire transfer sent to Paula. So he continued, Davis McClain to continue to represent for his mom in a case. So from there you had, what else took place? You had Tariq show up at school, and he's in class, and they talk about the book, The Prince with Machiavelli, and they was pretty much going over the book, and they got this competition coming up where the winner will get be a chance to get out of school early, plus go to another campus. And so from there, what happens is Tariq is looking like, this is my opportunity. So Lauren goes down to speak to the professor like, hey, I'd like to, speak with you in regards to this program and this competition. And so he thirsty, so he like, yeah, like, are we gonna meet and like at a restaurant, something like that. And he was like, no, my house. So he like, oh yeah, he was like, yeah, my parents want to talk to you. And so he's sitting there, and then he's sitting there like, oh, okay. So it looks better. He told her pretty much bring a student and bring the other professor there so that um it's better optics and we can really get into how the program will help you, and and any questions that your parents may have, they'll be able to answer them. So Professor J.Blige, he's a dirty guy, but he's a hound. He's a hound for the girls. So from there, you had the dinner comes, and both professors is going back and forth, and the tension is high. We already know the Professor J.Blige is pretty much conniving, so he's trying to manipulate the parents, Lauren's parents, and so Lauren is sitting there just trying to go along with it. And what happens is the parents is trying to dig at Tariq, so they asked him about, well, did you read the book The Prince? And Tariq pretty much was like, yeah, I read it, like 2 schools ago. He's like, Choate or the other school. And then he gave his perspective on it, and then they sit there and basically look like, he's a smart, studious guy. So they like, oh, okay. So they took a dig at him like, oh, you were school hopping or whatever. So they were talking how they see that his mother's trial and Davis McLean is taking a class. So Professor J.Blige pretty much was like, oh yeah, the other professors pretty much, they got a history together. And so, ding, 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 we now see where the connection is going to be, where the other professor used to mess with, I think she used to mess with Davis McLean. So when you keep hearing me say the other professor, I'm saying the female professor, Professor Carey. So some tension between Professor Carey and Professor J.Blige. They had a little back and forth. Lauren recognizing, so Lauren got up and pretty much told Tariq like, let me show you some, let me show you a book. And so he got up and they was in her room. They were reading a book, and they had a little back and forth, and then she kissed Tariq. And so he was like, okay, young boy's winning again. He got his second female going. So the mom all of a sudden calls her downstairs, and her boyfriend shows up to the house. And so he's in college, and he pretty much was like, it's a surprise the mom invited him. He pretty much was saying, basically, he basically was telling her like, yeah, I want to hear about this whole competition and the program and everything. And he thought Tariq was somebody else that she was talking about, but then when she found out that it wasn't, he just had a little weird look. And then Lauren said, come on, let's get out of here. So Tariq is looking like, all right, what's up this? Tariq dipped off. So when they showed up in school the next day, Lauren was like, yo, she said she sent them a text the night before, like, can we talk? And then Tariq pretty much was like, what for? And so when they got in school, she used to sit by him, machine sit by him. So he went over there basically telling her like, it's nothing. I know you already know you got a guy. I know you got to play the game. She like, what game? And he like, well, I know you got options, you know what I'm saying? So Diana texted him and said, basically, she wouldn't get up with him or whatever. And then he pretty much was like, she was like, well, who's Diana? He said, well, like I said, You know, we both got options. You know what I'm saying? So every time Lauren comes around, Tariq, she been probing, trying to ask questions, trying to get more information on him. He pretty much tells her just enough, but not really nothing. So you see that situation brewing. You see Tariq got the whole hustling going. Sax is still dirty. Here in comes his niece. He uses his niece to go to the party on school campus and find out who Tariq hangs with. And then she's in there snapping pictures. And Tariq sees her snapping pictures, but I guess he ain't thinking nothing of it right now. But, you know, that's Cooper Saxe being Cooper Saxe. Always doing something illegal. So it's going to eventually somehow blow up. The competition was in the party. And pretty much Tariq pretty much got rid of the competition. He set the competition up, got him out of there. He got him pretty much kicked off campus for selling drugs or whatever. So from there you see, okay, things is falling into place for Tariq. He making money, hustling's going on. You got Cooper Saxe is still dirty. You got Davis McClain, find out he messing with his assistant, Paula, their thing. So pretty much that was the bulk of the episode. It was a decent episode, probably the best episode of the series so far. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment if you watched it. I know I just went over a lot, and it's, you know, when you running these reviews, you thinking of everything at the time, what's going on, and you're remembering stuff. So it's everything that I said to you is not in sequence, but it's all relative that went into the review. I appreciate you taking the time to listening to this review. Like I said again, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment. Till next time.